Coors Light Steve Fairchild Coaches Show continues here on a Wednesday night, Old Town Fort Collins Beach House Grill. We're going to have Adam Seymour, senior defensive end, former tight end, join us here in a little bit. And then also Johnny Square, team advisor, 5th decade here at Colorado State. Well, Steve, this is a Wyoming football team that's had their up and downs. How about defensively? I know they made the switch from a 3-4 last year to a 4-3. Why do you switch from one year to the next?
I don't know why they did that. It is a significant switch in what they were doing schematically. Although the other night at UNLV you saw some snaps where they were kind of gravitating back towards what they were doing in the 3-4 defense. So we'll be prepared for both. At first I thought that would be a hard thing early on here, but in our league, Air Force, BYU, a lot of people bounce in and out of a 3-4 in a four-man front structure. So you've got to be able to do that as an offense, and we should have no problem with that. They're a very, very talented secondary. They have two outstanding safeties, two corners that have played a lot of football, and that's going to be the biggest challenge. I think they're good in the front seven, and we're good in the offensive line. That'll be a nice little battle in there, and as always, we kind of appreciate that style of football. But the secondary is where we're going to have our hands full, and our receivers are going to have to come to play to have any success in that area.
Yeah, there's safety Chris Pozinski. One of their guys that kind of has the nose from the football, had 140 tackles last year, and he's putting up big numbers this year.
No question. He's done a nice job. He's a good player. He played well against us last year. And the other young man, his name's slipping my mind, but number 7 is a young kid that very, very talented safety. So they've got some good guys in that area.
Shamil Gary, I believe is his name. And he had a 17 tackle game earlier this year against Boise State.
Yeah, no, they're both outstanding players.
Yeah, and then you have the Gibsons on the outside. Do you talk to Chris at all?
Yeah, they're related to Chris Gibson, who's a linebacker, fullback for us, and but we've been playing against the Gibsons now for a couple of years. They've been multi-year starters and very good athletes. They can run and. This is a good set of corners. So, as secondaries go, this is one of the better ones, if not the best one in the conference.
Yeah, I know it's a nice thing to have when each and every game you go into as a defensive coordinator, you know who your two cornerbacks are going to be. Those two guys have played in 36 consecutive games as the cornerback tandem. I mean, you don't see that very often these days.
No, and when they're good ones like that, it allows you to drop safeties down in the run game. It allows you to pressure with not as much worry about giving up a deep ball. So that's like I said, a very, very big strength of their defensive football team.
Wyoming coming off a loss last week on the road at UNLV, 42-16. Were you surprised at that score at all?
I really was, and going back and looking at the game, a couple big plays on them, here and there, and they missed some opportunities. So. Much like any other football game, the score obviously reflects the game, but there's always, a handful of plays, 6-8 plays in there that, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and then all of a sudden you're in a ball game.
It was an interesting start to that game. Wyoming got the opening kickoff, and the opening play of the entire game, Lester Alexander took it 72 yards for a score.
They busted a run and ended up in the end zone. Sometimes when that happens, you better, it's not going to go that easy. So, UNLV played well, and UNLV's doing a nice job too. Bobby Houck, you can tell, he knows how to coach, and they're getting better every week.
Yeah, I know that was a win that certainly made a lot of people down there happy in Vegas. Speaking of the run game for Wyoming, they only had 63, I think, total rush yards after that first play. So this could be a football team that you can bounce back and control the run against.
Well, you need to against them, but again, because of that spread offense now, it's a little different style, and at times defensively we haven't been as good against that as just teams that line up and try to pound us. So we're going to have to watch out for all the misdirection that they do off those little ghost plays and the zone reads and those type of things, but the key to this offense is not let them get anything on the ground. Make them throw and keep that ball in front of us.
Yeah, one thing I remember from last year, and especially I think on that last drive where they kicked the eventual game-winning field goal, is the playmaking ability of their quarterback, Carter Samuels.
He did. He made a couple plays, and there's a real I guess I probably shouldn't say questionable, but he ran out of bounds and slipped, and all of a sudden they got another 15 yards with that one. But yeah, and last year I thought, it was one of those weird games because I think, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think we had 400 yards plus, and I'm not sure they even had 200. But they made enough plays and we didn't, and that's a game of football.
Yeah, I think you guys had outgained them by 150, 160 total yards in that contest, and again, a field goal with 127 left won the game for Wyoming. So revenge on the mind of the Rams, and well, we're going to give the coach Steve Fairchild a bit of a break here. When we come back, we'll be joined by Adam Seymour, the senior defensive end for the Rams. That's next from Delegate Sports. It's the Coors Light Steve Fairchild Coaches Show on the Colorado State Sports Network. Welcome back here to the Coors Light Steve Fairchild Coaches Show. A few more segments left, and happy to be joined by senior Adam Seymour out of the Los Angeles area, out to Loma, California. Adam, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Brian, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Boy, it's gone fast, hasn't it?
Oh, wow. It really has. It's amazing how 5 years can fly by.
Yeah.
But it's been a great experience, a great time.
You spend most of your time as a tight end here at Colorado State. They asked you to make the switch to the defensive side of the football. What were your thoughts when they asked you that? I
was kind of hesitant. I really had to think about the decision, and after talking to Coach Fairchild and Coach Brown, Coach Curry, and just how the defensive side of the ball could use me, I decided that was the right decision to make for my team. And after praying on it for a while, I figured that was the place for me.
Yeah. Did you play defense at all in high school?
Yeah, I played defensive end in high school also.
So it wasn't completely new?
No, I was familiar with the position. So.
Think back to when you were leaving high school. How did you end up at Colorado State from the Los Angeles area?
We're really just like any other recruit. I took a lot of trips to different schools, and I came to Colorado State, and there's just something about CSU, something about Fort Collins that really just drew me in. And one huge part was I got to meet with our chaplain, Johnny Square, and I really hit it off with him, and I knew that after meeting with him that this was the place for me. A lot of other schools didn't really involve their chaplain in the recruiting process, and I thought it was really neat that CSU did that. So.
Okay. We're going to have Johnny Square coming up here in just a matter of moments, but talk a little bit about Johnny and what he does for the football program and for athletes in general at CSU.
Well, Johnny's just a great resource that CSU has available. He's really a mentor to a lot of the younger men. He's a spiritual leader that a lot of us can go to for advice and guidance, and just a guy that you can go, grab lunch with and just talk about, life problems, what's going on in your classes, what's going on in the team, and he has a lot of great advice. He's a very wise man.
Adam Seymour, senior defensive end, joining us here on the program. Following the game on Saturday, I was watching as players were going to the locker room. I think it was you, and if it was not you, correct me, but I saw a Ram stop short of the tunnel there on the south end of the end zone and kind of stopped and took a look back and scanned around the stadium. I thought it was you, and I think you were just trying to take it in as the last time you were going to be in uniform out there. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah, that was me. As I was walking off the field, it really hit me that this was the last time I would be walking off of the CSU football field as a CSU Ram, and I just looked back, and all these memories started to come back from my recruiting trip. Some big wins that we've had at that stadium. Some tough losses we've had there too, but just a lot of great memories all together with my teammates and my coaches. So. All
right, there's one game left. It's against Wyoming. Take us through some of your feelings going into your final game as a collegiate player.
It's a little weird knowing that this is the last time I'll be lacing up my cleats and putting on that uniform, but it's also a great way to go out. Wyoming's a long rival of ours. I think this is the 101st game that we'll be playing against them, so that's pretty cool. And it's always a great game against Wyoming. There's always something on the line, and even if there isn't, it's two hard-working teams that they're gonna battle. So that's always fun. That's a great way to end the season.
You help the younger kids understand what this is about?
Yeah, a lot of us upperclassmen, we had to take that upon ourselves because a lot of these guys aren't from, the Colorado area, kind of like I was, and they don't understand the importance of it, but I think a lot of people are starting to understand what's really in stake in this game. So,
do you remember some of the guys that kind of explained that Colorado rivalry and the Wyoming rivalry, some of the seniors back when you were
a freshman? I can remember Ben Stratton, because the Strattons are actually from Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming kids.
They really broke it down to me, the importance of the game. And, as a freshman, I didn't understand the importance of it. But now, as a senior, I really do see what it means to both programs, and especially at CSU.
All right, final thought, graduating in December.
Yes.
So it's right around the corner.
Yes.
What are the plans for the future?
I have a lot of ways I can go after graduation. I have a few job opportunities. I'm a construction management major. So I've had some job opportunities present themselves. I've been thinking about training for the Pro Day. That'll be in Fort Collins later on this spring, or possibly going to grad school. So right now I'm just focusing on finishing my season with my teammates, and then worry about that stuff afterwards.
That's right. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, Adam Seymour, senior defensive end of Altaloma, California. We'll take a timeout. Johnny Squared comes up next on the Colorado State Sports Network. Well, a couple more segments left here on the Coors Light. Steve Fairchild, Coach's Show. Brian Roth back with you live at the Beach House Grill in Old Town, Fort Collins. Johnny Squared, team advisor, joining us on the program. Great to have you, Johnny. How are you?
Brian, it's good to see you. Thanks.
Yeah, always a pleasure to see you. 5 decades now at Colorado State. It's amazing.
It's been that long.
Apparently, that's what the media guy says.
Yeah, I just think they needed to fill up some space. You know what I'm saying?
Johnny played football from 72 to 75 here at Colorado State, and has been with the program ever since. And hey, but before we get talking a little bit about you, how about Adam Seymour? We just had him, and I know you guys are very, very, very close.
Yes, one of the things that you try to do behind the scenes is build a culture of character. And in that character, men become competent in what they do, and it helps build the community behind the scenes. And Adam Seymour is one of the men that really typifies that. He's just a strong believer. He loves what he does. And when guys come in, there's always a guy you want to say, hey, look at that guy. Adam is that kind of man.
Yeah, he's going to be successful in whatever he does.
Whatever he does.
All right, now I opened up the show by telling Coach Fairchild a story told to me by somebody else that I think is in attendance here tonight. Apparently, you were a DJ back in your college days. You had the big afro hair, and
yeah.
you were spinning the records.
Well, contrary to how people see me today, I used to have hair. I mean, it used to be a big one, and they had a segment on KCSU where from about 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, didn't nobody want to take the spot, so I was studying communication. So we were able to spin the records and keep people moving, and it was fun. We had a lot of call-downs, played a lot of soul music. Yeah. That's what we did. It was good.
Well,
it was real good.
You have an outstanding voice. I mean, I can already tell right now you were an outstanding DJ.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. I used to put them to sleep.
That's the job at 12 o'clock at night, right?
Yes.
Johnny Squared, team advisor for Colorado State Ram football, joining us, and give everybody an idea out there what is your responsibility with this football team and with the kids that you come across?
Well, the key is that when a parent drop their kids off to a university, they want to know that the organization cares, number one. And that there's a lot that happens in a young man's life from the time that he's a freshman to the time he leaves. That could be 4 years. That could be 5.5 years. But in that, they want to be moved from boys to men. And in that transition, there's a lot that happens. So my role is to, first of all, listen and take the vision that's been laid out. Coach Fairchild has a vision, and then there's a process. And that process is there for those men to develop. And then there's a culture that you want to build. You want to build a culture where men will learn about life, and that there's life beyond the game. But while they play the game, they learn things. And so my role is to nurture that, and to be there, and to listen, and to hear those stories sometimes that a coach cannot hear, and just to be there to encourage the kids. So it's been fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Well, you've had a lot of roles here at Colorado State. Obviously a student athlete when you played back in the day. You have your role as team advisor. You also have a role, or you've had a role at CSU where you've been a father of 2 Division I athletes at CSU.
Yes, Alex and Justine. Justine played with the women's basketball team, and Alex just graduated a year ago, December.
How are they doing?
You know, they're doing well. Justine is in her 4th year of marriage, and we're talking grandkids, but they're not hearing me. You know what I'm saying? We want them pretty quick. And Alex is still waiting around. He's got an opportunity to get on with an NFL team. He's just got to wait. If they call him, he'll go there. But I'm excited for him. He's got a job working in construction management. And my wife, Vicki, you know, is also a graduate of CSU. And so we're kind of like a CSU family, you know.
There's only been a handful of people at this university that have been around and have had more influence than you. I think of Gary Ozello. I think of Christine Suzuma. I think of Doug Max. You guys are all right there. So
it's a joy. It's a joy.
Well, thank you so much, Johnny. Appreciate you coming on.
God bless you.
Okay. Johnny Square, team advisor for Colorado State. Well, he's been around for a while here at the university. All right, one final segment here this season. We'll wrap it up with Coach Steve Fairchild. That's next from Delegate Sports and the Colorado State Sports Network. Well, one final time, we welcome you back here at the Beach House Grill, Old Town Fort Collins. It's been an outstanding year here on the Colorado State Sports Network. Beach House Grill has been a great host all season long. Brian Roth, along with Coach Steve Fairchild, back with you. Adam Seymour, a guy that kind of typifies what a Ram is. You're proud to have guys like him in your program.
Well, you just had a chance to kind of talk to him, and you know how well-spoken and what an intelligent guy he is. Very, very good football player, and played a lot of snaps, you know, at tight end for us when I got here. And you know, he's so unselfish, and he's what you want your football team to do, because he puts the team first, and we ask him to move over and help us in the D-line, and he did it. And you know, I overheard him say that. I hope he does train for Pro Day, because you don't know, and he's certainly a gifted guy physically, and you know, it could happen there. And if not, I know he's done the right thing as far as his education, and that's going to be something he'll go on and be very successful with.
Yeah, that it was great to get Johnny Square on the program with us tonight, too.
I can't say enough about Johnny. You know, from day one, he's helped me, and this job can be consuming. And there's a lot more to it, and Johnny certainly brings that. You know, thank you to him, because he brings that to my life, and what a great resource he is for me and thousands of kids that have come through Colorado State University.
Yeah, Steve, one thing I've been impressed all season long with here at the Coors Light Steve Fairchild Coaches Shows, we've had outstanding crowds every night.
Thank you to everybody that's out there. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's tremendous, your support, and we're doing the right thing. Hang in there, but thank you all for coming, and really thank you for everybody that's out there listening and is interested in Colorado State football. You know, we really do appreciate it. I know I do, our staff does, and our players as well.
Yeah, man. It was Coach Fairchild's idea to bring in a student athlete each and every week, and I hope all the fans out there listening and in the audience here have enjoyed that, because I have. So
yeah, I think it's good that the people here get to meet them. Yeah, and you know, they're football players, but they're also, you know, they're fine young men, and a chance to take a guy like Adam Seymour and get to know him a little bit, even though it's brief, is really a neat thing. So we'll continue, Brian, if that's cool. And thank you for the great job you've done. But let's continue doing that next year.
Yep.
So.
Well, Wyoming coming up on Saturday, and I know you guys would love to close out the season with the win and build a little momentum going into the offseason.
Yeah, this would be a big win for us. You know, I don't really care how the game goes. The only thing that matters is we get the bronze boot back down to Fort Collins Saturday night.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Steve, thanks so much. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, you've been great. Thank you very much.
All right, that's the coach, Steve Fairchild. That's going to wrap us up here tonight. Again, we've been with you all season long here from the Beach House Grill. And just a reminder that the CSU Basketball Coaches Show, they're going to be right here in Old Town Fort Collins at the Beach House Grill. And we're going to be with you most Monday nights all throughout the winter. It starts on November the 29th at, again, 6 to 7 p.m. with Kristen Holt and with head coach Tim Miles. For the coach, Steve Fairchild, Charlie Grimes back at Master Control. Bob Greenfield, who's engineered with us all season long. I'm Brian Roth saying so long, and thanks for listening to the Coors Light Steve Fairchild Coaches Show.